So, today we're going to dive into a comeback story that's pretty wild. It brings together championship athletes, a trip to the White House, and the fitness challenge that, let's be honest, a lot of us probably remember from the school gym. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so let me start you off with a little bit of a puzzle here. On one hand, you have an absolute giant of the professional wrestling world, a guy known for pure dominance in the ring. And on the other, you've got this precision athlete from the NFL whose leg has won football's biggest prize. I mean, what on earth could possibly connect these two guys?
And the answer is a trip to the White House. But you know, this wasn't just your typical photo op with the president. The real story here, the thing that makes this so interesting, is why they were there in the first place.
Right, so this gathering was, well, it was pretty unusual. It brought these two totally different worlds of athletic greatness into the same room, all for one very specific reason. We're talking about Paul Levesque, you probably know him better as Triple H, who's now the Chief Content Officer for WWE. And right there with him was Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Both of them were at the White House to throw their star power behind a brand new presidential initiative.
And believe me, this was not some stuffy, formal political event. To kind of mark the moment, Triple H actually did his iconic water-spitting entrance for the crowd. He brought a little piece of WWE showmanship right to the nation's capital, which again, just makes you wonder, what was this all for? And here we go. This is the heart of it. The reason they were all there is the revival of something that, I guarantee, many of you have strong memories of from your own school days. That's right, the presidential fitness test is back. For decades, this thing was a total fixture in PE classes all over the country. And now, it's officially making a comeback through an executive order, all with the goal of promoting physical fitness for kids in America. But here's the thing, to really get why this test is back, you've got to understand where it came from in the first place. Its roots go way back to a much more anxious time in American history. Yeah, the whole program wasn't originally just about, general health and wellness. It was actually born out of Cold War paranoia. It all started with a study that showed American kids were way less physically fit than kids in Europe. And that was seen as a genuine national security issue. It was framed as a matter of national readiness. And this timeline here really shows you the test's wild ride. It kicked off under President Eisenhower back in '56. Then President Johnson made it a formal awards program. But then, fast forward to 2012, and it gets completely discontinued. A big reason for that was a shift in thinking. There were growing concerns that the test was too focused on performance, not overall health, and that it could even cause issues with body image or exclude kids who weren't natural athletes. So bringing it back now, well, that signals a huge swing back towards having a national standard for fitness once again.
So what's actually in this thing? For some of us, this is going to be a serious trip down memory lane. And for a whole new generation of kids, it's a brand new challenge to face.
The test itself is built around these 5 classic events, and each one is designed to measure a different part of your physical fitness. You've got your curl-ups for core strength, the shuttle run, remember that one, for agility and speed, a distance run for your cardio, pull-ups or push-ups for that upper body strength, and then finally, the good old V-sit reach to see how flexible you are.
And the scoring isn't just a simple pass-fail. There are tiers. The highest honor, the one everyone wanted, is the Presidential Award. To get that, a student has to score in the 85th percentile or higher on every single one of the 5 events. That's a really high bar. Below that, you have the National Award for hitting the 50th percentile, and then there's a Participant Award just for giving it your all and completing the test.
Okay, so let's circle back to those celebrity athletes we started with, because this White House event was about more than just politics and policy papers. First up, you have Paul Levesque, Triple H. Now, we all know him for his incredible, legendary career inside the wrestling ring, but his current job as Chief Content Officer at WWE makes him one of the most powerful people in the entire sports entertainment industry. He basically shapes the whole creative vision for the company.
And his athletic resume, it's just undeniable. A 14-time world champion. When a guy like that shows up, it sends a pretty clear message about what high-level performance and discipline look like.
And then you have Harrison Butker, the place kicker for the Chiefs. He represents a completely different brand of athletic excellence, right? His is all about incredible precision, mental focus, and performing under the most intense pressure imaginable. And his 3 Super Bowl rings really prove that point. He's a crucial part of one of the NFL's great modern dynasties, and his presence really highlights that elite fitness and athleticism come in all sorts of different packages. But the list of big names in sports backing this doesn't even stop there. Another key figure involved is the pro golfer Bryson DeChambeau, who most people know by his nickname, the Scientist, because of his super analytical, almost radical approach to a very traditional game. And you just can't argue with his results. The man has 2 U.S. Open titles. He's known for this totally unique method, like using clubs that are all the same length. DeChambeau has basically turned the sport on its head by focusing on the physics and the biomechanics of how to get peak performance. So, the return of the presidential fitness test, backed by this really diverse group of top-tier athletes, leaves us with a pretty big question. In today's world, with all our new technology and evolving ideas about what health really means, what role should a national fitness standard even play in our schools? That's the thought we'll leave you with.